figure out a way to. Good morning. Play my music from a different location. Let me know if you can hear me by giving me a like or a heart. We'll get started in about 3 minutes or so. A suggestion for your class today is to be sure to grab grab a block. And if you would like to have a blanket nearby, that would be really helpful, especially when we are on our hands and our knees. And then if you have any type of cushion, so I do have the bolsters here in the studio, but a really good cushion is just a pillow that you use on the bed or maybe even a couch pillow. It'll just help to have that support when we go into, we're going to do supported fish pose, and it'll just be helpful. Let's get started, shall we? So we're going to start first just in a seated position. Today we're going to be going through the 7 chakras and just a little brief overview of what the chakras are and why they're important. And each one of our yin poses is going to cover balancing each of the chakras. So you'll get to sit in a pose for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. I do have my clock in front of me, so I will make sure that I pull you out. When you go into each one of the poses, there is a mantra that I will be giving to you to soften into that pose, but also to combine the energy and the balance of each one of those chakras. The term chakra means a wheel, and there are 7 major wheels in the body, and each one of those is an energy point where there's a collective group of nadis that come together, and energetically we try to keep balance with those through our yoga practice. And when they get out of balance, you can actually start to feel certain things, such as not feeling connected, not feeling safe, not feeling, what's the term? Feeling lonely, feeling separate from other people. And so I felt this was a really good practice to not only put into the vault, but also to teach today as a way to just bring that energy and that balance and that focus back into your practice. So as we begin, I'm going to invite you to come up to standing. I know this is not very typical of what we do in our yang class. We're going to come up to standing and come into mountain pose. And as you come into mountain pose, standing with the feet about hip-width apart, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and then bring them back and down, letting the palms face forward and the fingertips spiking towards the earth. You can either allow the eyes to close, or you can just look down softly. And bring your awareness, bring all of your attention to the soles of your feet. And try to find balance by rocking forward into the balls of the feet, and rocking back into the heels, rocking over to the right, and then over to the left. Start to get the visualization or the image that your feet are sinking down into the surface beneath you. So beneath your yoga mat, beneath the ground that's underneath your yoga mat. All the way down into the dirt beneath the foundation of which your home is built upon. And imagine that there's roots seeping even deeper, moving through the gravel, through the rocks, through the sediment. And as you continue to sink deeper, start to get the image of a red laser beam, a red light that plugs all the way down into the core of the earth. And feel yourself plugged in and connected, almost as though your feet are suctioned to the ground. You start to imagine that there's energy, a red energy that's rising up, that plug, rising up the roots into the soles of your feet. And as you breathe in, start to pull that image up into the hips. And as you breathe out, pushing the weight of the body a little bit deeper down, settling a little bit down. The mantra that we use as we hold our mountain pose, allowing the upper body to be supported by the weight sinking down, is I am grounded. So as you continue to breathe and hold your mountain pose, softly repeating to yourself, I am grounded. And then we'll begin to feel the full energetic effects of this mountain pose by slightly lifting the base of your torso, your Muladhara, Mula Bandha, lifting it and imagining that the energy is rising up the entire column of the torso, up to the crown of the head. And as you lift up and out of the hips, just softly, you're floating here. Imagine that at the crown of the head there's an opening. And that opening sends a beam of white light all the way up towards the sky, above the ceiling. And continue to breathe in the energy from the earth, the red light rising up to the base of the torso, all the way up. I am grounded. On your next in-breath, we're going to circle the arms around to go up, raising them above the crown of the head. Soft bend to the knees as you waterfall down into a forward fold. Now here you can bring the hands into the elbows into the hands, and find ragdoll. If you need the support of a block, you can use your blocks and place the hands onto the blocks. We're going to point the crown of the head down towards the earth. Our root chakra represents our foundation. On the human body, it sits at the base of our spine, and it gives us that feeling of being grounded. When the root chakra is open, we feel confident in our ability to withstand challenges and stand on our own 2 feet. Notice any sensations of tingling in the ankles, and draw that awareness up into the base of your spine. Allowing the hands to come down to the mat now. Soft bend to the knees. We're going to step back and sit down. And as you sit, here you may wish to bring a blanket underneath the hips and bring a tilt to the pelvis towards the ground. We're going to come into extended butterfly pose. So the space between the heels and the pelvis, we want it to be nice and wide, nice and large. Placing the hands onto the knees to begin, we're going to roll the hips forward, dipping the pubic bones forward and down. Now this motion, for our next chakra, we want to hinge from the hips and bring the belly forward and down. Our next chakra is the solar plexus. The sacral chakra. The sacral chakra right down into just below the navel. So we want to almost pour that into the space between the legs. You can place your hands onto your feet or your ankles and soften into the hips here. As the muscles begin to release, you may find that the torso folds down towards that space a little more. Just open up the elbows and bring them to the outsides of the shins. If this is not available to you, you can still hold your torso up, but again, remember leaning from the hips forward and down. The purpose of our sacral chakra is that it helps to inform how we relate to our emotions and the emotions of others. It's also the house of our creativity and our sexual energy. And when it's open, we get a sense of control, knowing where our emotions end and another's begins, knowing what we are responsible for. And a mantra that you can use here is, I always honor others, but not before myself. And stay with the energy of that mantra. I always honor others, but not before myself. Preparing to come out of the pose. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Gently lift up and out of the hips. Walking the hands back. We're going to momentarily come into dragonfly pose by bringing both legs wide out. Rolling forward onto the hips so that the pubic bone points down. Bring the hands out in front of you. You can allow the elbows to come down. If this is too much for you right now, you can always place your forearms onto stacked blocks, leaning the heart and the sacral chakra forward and down. Again, returning to the mantra, I always honor others, but not before myself. Again, to come out of the pose, bring the hands down to the earth, pushing the ground away, rising up and out of the hips. Our next pose will be for the solar plexus, the Manipura, which is just above the navel. So let's go ahead and bring our legs to a bend, soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to come onto our back here. Raising your feet up off of the ground, bring your knees over your hips. You can bring the arms out to the side, and we're going to take the knees over all the way to the left. Now, if this is too much for your right knee, you can let it slide down onto the mat past the left knee. But here we're focusing on the belly button, a twist in the belly button, a twist in those abdominal organs, stimulating that Manipura, the third chakra. Finding your edge with this, so if you do have your right knee past the left thigh, as you start to soften into the twist, into that belly button, you can begin to slide that right knee up, bringing it in alignment to the left. Take your time. So the solar plexus is related to how confident and in control you feel in your life. Often we use the metaphor butterflies in the stomach or a pit in the stomach. And so with that understanding, you can definitely see how sensations felt in this region, this gut brain, can connect or relate to that confidence, that feeling of being in control. The mantra for the Manipura is self-love starts when I can fully accept all parts of myself. Self-love starts when I can fully accept all parts of myself. Just breathe into the belly button here. If you'd like to go deeper, you can extend the legs straight out, creating a straight line with the legs, revolving from the hips over to the left. Self-love starts when I begin to accept all parts of myself. If the legs are extended, let's go ahead and start to bend them in. To come out of the pose, contract your abdominal muscles just softly, lifting up the right leg, letting the left knee follow. Wrap the arms around the legs and just give yourself a hug for a moment. Self-love starts when I begin to accept all parts of myself. Letting the navel settle back and down on that next exhale into the back of the body, feeling the connection of the back of the body to the earth. And then releasing the shins, bring the knees back over the hips. We're going to take the knees now to the right side. Allowing the arms to come out to the side. Again, focus is on the navel. So feel that rotation in the navel. If you need to make it a little bit less, you can always bring that right or left leg back behind you. Separating the knees if you want to increase the intensity, drawing the knee up and stacking both knees. And halfway through, I'll give you the option to go a little bit deeper. Breathing into the navel. And tuning into that mantra. Self-love starts when I begin to accept all parts of myself. Option to go deeper here if you'd like to extend the legs straight out from the hips to the right side. Or you can stay where you are, focusing on the navel, the belly button. The legs are extended. Begin to bend into the knees, bringing the feet back behind you. To come out of the pose, contracting the abdominal muscles just gently, rolling onto the back as you lift the left knee up and the right knee follows. Bringing the arms around the shins, around the thighs, and give yourself a hug. Allowing the navel to drop back towards the spine as you exhale. Feeling the connection of the back of the body to the earth. And as we make our way up the chakras, our next one is Anahata, which is the heart chakra. So we're going to roll over onto our belly here. Coming onto our belly. The pose here is seal pose or sphinx pose. You have the option of doing either. For sphinx pose, the elbows come up underneath the shoulders. The palms are spread wide, about shoulder width apart. Lifting up from the heart here. So we want to keep the shoulder blades back and the heart is open as we move the heart towards the top of our mat. If you'd like to go into seal pose, you slide the hands forward, pressing the ground away, lifting up the portion of the body from the navel up towards the heart, and hold it here in seal pose. This can be a little bit challenging after a while, so I also like to suggest bringing a bolster underneath the ribs and using that as a support for the heart and the back of the body. Find a position that you can settle into and breathe as we hold the pose for about 5 minutes. Relaxing your legs and your buttocks. Dropping down into the rib basket, but lifting up with the heart. The heart chakra is the meeting point of all the lower chakras and all the upper chakras. As the name suggests, the heart chakras influences our ability to receive love, to give love, to abide in love. The love from others and ourselves. The mantra for this chakra is when I love myself, I'm able to love others freely. When I love myself, loving others comes easily. Letting your breath move in, through, and out of that heart space. When I love myself, loving others comes easily. We're halfway through. If you'd like to make any adjustments, maybe rising up into seal if you're in Sphinx. Maybe lowering down into Sphinx if you are in seal. And returning to the mantra. When I love myself, loving others comes easily. To release out of the pose, bend into the elbows. Go ahead and slide the arms back behind you, letting the heart come down towards the mat, placing either ear onto the ground. Let the shoulders round forward towards the mat, and breathe. Gently lift the head and rotate the head, placing the opposite ear down onto the mat. To come out of the pose, slide the hands up underneath the shoulders. Just prop yourself up for a minute. So our next chakra is the throat chakra, and it's located appropriately at the throat. And its function is to allow us to communicate freely, effortlessly, communicate our personal power. So the next pose will take a little bit of modification on your part at home. I want you to be very careful and mindful of your head and your neck. I'm going to give you a couple of different variations that you can try. We're going to come into fish pose. So we roll over onto our back. Now here I like to have a pillow placed at the crown of my head. The first option is to bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Then you're going to lean your head back so that the head rests onto the pillow underneath you. So if you need to, you can use a block too if you need to elevate that height. It will look something like this, allowing the throat to be fully open. Now, if this is too much for your head and your neck, the other option would be to bring a bolster behind you or a cushion of some sort. Ideally, you want to have your chin above the throat. So as you come onto your back, tilting the head back so that the chin is pointing up towards the ceiling and then letting the arms lie down beside you. Either way, we want to open up the space in the throat so you can either choose to have the bolster to support your low back, or you can have a blanket underneath your head. The other option is to support the back by placing a block just where the bra strap, the bra line comes. So as you lay onto the block, your middle back is supported, but you can still put the head back and you're not putting a whole lot of pressure onto your arms, bringing the elbows alongside the body and holding in your fish pose. So find the one that feels safest for you that you can hold for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. I will give you options to adjust and modify halfway through. It is very common when doing throat chakra poses to get the sensation of coughing or clearing of the throat. And that is part of the opening of the chakra. As you breathe into that space and noticing any sensations, you may wish to use the mantra, I speak my truth always. Halfway through, making any adjustments if you need to, and coming back to the throat chakra. I speak my truth always. Come out of the pose, slide the head up and back so that the chin comes down. Then pressing into the ground with the elbows, lift the head, remove any props that are underneath, and then lower the back of the body back down, letting the shoulder blades come down behind you. When you're ready, roll over onto your belly once again. Pressing down into the earth, we're going to rise up onto all fours and come into child's pose. Our next chakra is our Anjas chakra, which is the third eye, the space between the eyebrows. So I like to go into wide-legged child's pose here. I also like to have a prop, especially if the space between my body and the ground is not quite where it is each day. Lowering down, you're going to want to place your forehead onto the prop or onto the earth. Allowing all the weight of the body to sink into the space between your eyebrows. Even directing your mind's eye, your attention and focus to the space between the eyebrows that's touching the surface beneath you. The third eye chakra controls our ability to see the bigger picture, to connect with our intuition. As we move up the chakras, we move closer to the divine, our connection with our higher power, our divine selves. So in this space of the third eye, the mantra is, I am open to explore what cannot be seen. I am open to explore what cannot be seen. And feeling the earth beneath your palms, pressing the ground away, lifting the head up, lifting the hips. We're going to come into our final yen pose, and then we'll move into shavasana. Easy seated pose. The highest chakra sits at the crown of our head, and it represents our ability to be fully connected to our spirituality, our path, our purpose. And so to connect to this one, we are going to come into an easy seated pose, removing the flesh from underneath your sits bones. And bring your attention to the crown of your head. Now, this is a special part of the body because each one of us, when we were infants or we were babies, we had an opening at the crown of our head. And just over time, that does close up. There's still a soft opening at the crown of your head. It's still there. Pushing my hair over. We want to see if you can align the crown of your head with the base of your spine. So it's very important when you are doing chakra work is to always start at the base of your spine, feeling fully grounded. And always enter into any sort of chakra experience with a certified teacher. We typically don't start at the top, we start at the ground to feel rooted and grounded in our entire process. So from here we are going to go back to the base of our spine, feeling the sits bones rooted down. I am grounded. Just allow your attention and your awareness to go all the way down to the base of the spine. And then moving up into the sacral chakra. I always honor others, but not before myself. And just breathing into that space, that honor. And then as it rises up into the solar plexus, that confidence, seat of confidence. Self-love starts when I accept all parts of myself. And just breathe into that space. And letting it rise up into the heart. When I love myself fully, I can love others more easily. And rising up into the throat, I speak my truth openly and honestly. And rising up to the space between the eyebrows, I am open to witness what cannot be seen. And as we rise up to the crown of the head, I am a vessel of love and light. And just tune into that flow of energy from the crown of the head down to the base of the spine and back up. Noticing any sensations felt in the form of tingling or vibrating, maybe pulsing. Just breathe. Drawing your awareness up from the base of the spine, settling into the heart now. Just bring that energy up into the heart space. And then from the crown of the head down to the heart, allowing them to meet in the middle. And just allow your awareness to just rest at the heart space for a moment. And keeping your attention on the sensations felt in the form of vibrations in your body, I invite you now to lie down. Coming onto your back, allowing your feet to open, allowing the shoulder blades to settle down behind you. Allowing all of the work that we've done today to be fully integrated into your stability, your balance, your peace. Perhaps settling on a mantra that you felt truly connected to today. And as you allow the body to be fully supported by the surface beneath you, allowing the breath to be slow and steady. And just tuning in to the effects of your practice today. Slowly, gently, bringing your awareness back into the physical body. feeling where the body's making contact beneath you. Begin to take a deep breath in, pulling that breath in through the nostrils all the way down and through the body. And breathing out. When you feel that you are back in your present moment in this space, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe roll the head from the right to the left ear. On your next inhale, lifting the arms up above the crown of your head, bring the legs together for a full body stretch. And in your own time, you can start to bend the knees, drawing them up in towards the chest, and hug the knees. Rocking from side to side. And allow your body to rock over to either side, your choice. Coming into that fetal position, that womb-like existence, and pausing for just a moment longer. Pausing in this space of rest and awareness. How will you take your practice off the mat today and into the rest of your day, interacting with yourself and with others? And honoring our time together with 2 life-affirming breaths. When you're ready, using your top hand, pressing down into the earth, rising up and using the bottom to prop you up, to come all the way up to seated. We'll bring our hands in Anjali Mudra, just prayer position, palms together, thumbs resting at the heart, and taking our head intelligence a little bit closer to our heart intelligence. Everything that you need right now, you have inside of you. May you continue to use this time when you cannot go outside to go inside again and again and again. This is the practice of yoga, connecting the mind, the body, and the spirit. When faced with challenging times, but also when faced in moments of joy. Our journey does not stop just because we're on the other side of the screen. So in everything that you do today, my prayer for you is may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you know peace. From my heart to yours, I honor you, I love you, I appreciate you so much. Namaste. I'm sending you a big old heart hug. Thank you all for practicing with me today, and I will see you tomorrow. We have actually two classes tomorrow. So I will be doing a live class in here, gentle yoga, and also Deb recorded an amazing flow class for those of you that want a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweat. So I will be posting that tomorrow, and you can watch that. It is pre-recorded, so you can watch that at any time. And then if you want to join me live tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I will be here. Love you all. Bye.